Have you ever wondered about the hidden differences between street dogs and pet dogs? Differences that go far beyond where they live. Sure, street dogs are survivors while pet dogs enjoy pampered lives, but the truth is far more fascinating. For example, did you know that street dogs often develop problem-solving skills so sharp they can navigate traffic and find food in ways that seem almost genius? Meanwhile, pet dogs, with all their comforts, have mastered reading human emotions better than most people. In this video, we'll uncover how their environments shape everything about them: instincts, intelligence, health, and even how they age. From the survival skills of street dogs to the emotional intelligence of pet dogs, you'll see contrasts that reveal the true adaptability of man's best friend. Stick around, because what you learn might change how you see dogs forever. Let's jump into survival instincts versus comfort dependency. Let's dive right into one of the biggest differences: survival instincts. Street dogs are like the ultimate survivalists. They navigate unpredictable environments, find food where none seems available, and avoid danger like pros. Their instincts are sharpened by necessity. For example, did you know a street dog can often assess whether a stranger is a threat or not just by reading their body language? It's like they have a sixth sense. Now compare that to pet dogs. Pet dogs, while brilliant in many ways, often don't develop those same instincts. Why? Because they don't need to. They live in a world where food, safety, and shelter are handed to them. A pet dog might bark at the mailman, but would it know how to find food if it got lost? Not likely. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. While pet dogs rely on humans, they've mastered another skill: emotional intelligence. They can read your mood better than most humans can. This contrast between street dogs' raw survival skills and pet dogs' emotional connection leads us to the next major difference: adaptability. Street dogs are masters of adaptation. Think about it. They don't have consistent meal times, they never know when they'll need to run from danger, and their environment changes daily. This constant unpredictability shapes them into some of the most flexible animals on the planet. Here's an example. If a street dog is suddenly relocated to a new area, it can quickly learn the new territory, where to find food, where the threats are, and where to rest. It's like their brains are wired to solve problems on the go. Pet dogs, on the other hand, thrive in structured environments. They rely on routines: feeding at 7 a.m., walks at 6 p.m., bedtime by 10 p.m. Take that routine away, and many pet dogs experience stress. This doesn't mean they're less capable, it just highlights how their environment shapes them differently. Now, here's where it gets intriguing. When you take a street dog and introduce it to a pet's lifestyle, it can adapt remarkably well. A pet dog thrown into a street dog's life will struggle, at least initially. This adaptability, or lack thereof, ties directly into their problem-solving abilities, which brings us to our next difference. Street dogs have to solve problems every single day. For example, how do they cross a busy street safely? Many street dogs actually learn to watch traffic lights or mimic humans crossing the road. They develop real-world problem-solving skills that pet dogs might never need. Pet dogs, on the other hand, often excel in solving structured problems. Give them a puzzle toy or teach them a trick, and they'll surprise you with how quickly they learn. Their problem-solving skills are often focused on human interaction, figuring out how to communicate what they want or how to get that treat hidden in your pocket. Here's the twist: these differences aren't about intelligence but context. Each type of dog is solving the problems their environment demands. This distinction between real-world problem-solving and human-focused problem-solving leads directly to another key difference: health and longevity. Street dogs live tough lives, and their health reflects that. They often don't have access to proper nutrition, medical care, or shelter, which leads to shorter lifespans. However, they're incredibly resilient. For example, their immune systems are often stronger than pet dogs because they're exposed to a wider variety of bacteria and viruses from a young age. Pet dogs, in contrast, enjoy a more pampered life. They get high-quality food, regular vet visits, and a cozy place to sleep. But here's the surprising part: pet dogs often develop health issues related to their cushy lifestyle. Obesity, joint problems, and anxiety are much more common in pet dogs than street dogs. This difference in health and lifestyle also impacts how they age. Street dogs age faster due to the harshness of their environment, while pet dogs often live longer but may face more chronic illnesses. And speaking of how they age, let's look at their social lives, which shape not just their well-being, but also their behavior. And speaking of how they age, let's look at their social lives, which shape not just their well-being, but also their behavior. Street dogs live in a world where social structure is crucial. They often form loose packs, relying on each other for protection and even food. Their social dynamics can be incredibly complex, involving hierarchies and cooperative behaviors. Pet dogs, on the other hand, view their human family as their pack. This changes their social behavior entirely. They become deeply bonded to their owners, often relying on them for emotional and physical support. But here's something surprising. Street dogs tend to have more balanced relationships with other dogs because they're constantly negotiating their place in a pack. Pet dogs, however, can sometimes struggle with dog-to-dog interactions because they're so used to human-centric socialization. This social adaptability leads to our next fascinating difference: communication styles. Street dogs are excellent communicators, especially when it comes to avoiding conflict. They use subtle body language, like avoiding eye contact or wagging their tails in specific ways to defuse tense situations. This makes sense when every fight could mean life or death. Pet dogs, meanwhile, are pros at communicating with humans. They've learned how to use eye contact, facial expressions, and even specific vocalizations to get what they want. Ever notice how your dog gives you that guilty look when they've done something wrong? That's not something you'll see as often in a street dog. It's a learned behavior from living with humans. This difference in communication reflects how these dogs have evolved alongside their environments. And speaking of evolution, that brings us to one final mind-blowing difference: how street and pet dogs think about freedom. For street dogs, freedom is everything. Their entire lives revolve around navigating open spaces, making decisions, and living by their own rules. While this freedom comes with its challenges, it also gives street dogs a sense of independence that pet dogs often lack. Pet dogs, in contrast, live within boundaries, leashes, fences, and house rules. But here's the twist: many pet dogs don't seem to miss that freedom because their world is full of love, safety, and comfort. It's almost like they've traded independence for security. This difference highlights a deeper question about what dogs truly need to be happy, and maybe, just maybe, it's not about being a street dog or a pet dog. It's about having a life that meets their individual needs. In the end, whether a dog is roaming the streets or lounging on a couch, the key is understanding and meeting their unique needs. That's what truly matters for their happiness. So, what do you think? Street dogs and pet dogs may live completely different lives, but both are incredible in their own ways. Their differences show us how environment shapes behavior, adaptability, and even health. Whether you're a dog lover, owner, or just curious, one thing's clear: every dog has its own story, and every story is worth celebrating. Which of these differences surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the world of dogs.